Good morning, Miss Angie.
Good morning, Ms. Hathaway. How are you?
Well, how are you?
I'm great.
Good morning. Can everybody hear us here? We've got a lot of background noise, and I just need to have everyone speak up loudly enough so that I can hear you and the judge can hear you, please.
Yes, ma'am.
The court will now call case number 1176, the State of Texas versus Corian Michael Robinson. Is the state ready to proceed?
State's ready, Your Honor.
And is defense ready to proceed?
Defense is ready to proceed on a motion to set bond, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Hathaway, this is your motion. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd call Angie Robinson.
Okay.
Ms. Robinson, would you please raise your right hand and be sworn? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Yes,
Okay, you can put your hand down. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Ms.
Please state
Hathaway,
your full name. Thank you, Judge. Please state your full name.
Angie Marie Robinson.
And is that ANGIE-MARIE-ROBINSON?
Correct, yes.
Thank you. Now, Ms. Robinson, you are aware that we are here on a motion to set bond. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Please tell the court how you're related to the defendant.
I am his mother, and I am also his caretaker.
Ms. Robinson, where do you currently reside?
Kansas City, Missouri.
How long have you lived in Kansas City?
45 years.
Okay. And how long has Corian been living with you?
27 years.
And he, prior to being placed into custody and held at the jail there in Stratford, he was residing with you. Is that correct?
That's correct.
How old is your son, Miss Robinson?
He's 27.
Now, you are aware that he has a charge that is not only a first-degree felony, but it's a minimum 10 to 99 or life in prison. You understand that, correct?
Correct.
And you understand that that is a very serious charge, correct?
Correct, yes.
Can you tell the court how long this case has been pending?
As far as I know, about a year and a half, close to 2 years.
Sure. And during that time, Mr. Robinson, through you as his caretaker, you guys have been checking in with your bonding company. Is that correct?
Yes,
Prior to him being detained, true?
true.
And Mr. Robinson has been residing with you in your home during that time. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, you've told the court today that you are his caretaker. Can you please explain that to the court?
Okay. Corian sustained an injury back in 2013. He was paralyzed from the neck down, and he did a lot of rehab. I was the one that was responsible for taking him back and forth. He lost his ability of his left side. He has no use of his left arm. And I basically had to do everything for him.
Is he able to work, Ms. Robinson?
No,
In fact, you are the person that is responsible for his bills, both legal and otherwise. Is that correct?
that's correct.
Now, Ms. Robinson, you're aware that as the case has been pending, that there have been settings on this case. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And specifically, there was one setting where your son was unable to appear for court. Is that correct?
That's correct.
one of the things that a judge is looking at anytime they set a bond, especially a bond that has already been revoked or NISI had been issued in a case, one of the things the court is looking at is whether or not this person is going to return to court. You understand that, right?
I do understand that.
Can you please explain to the court why he missed his court date?
Well, we didn't have a lawyer at the time. We had lost contact with everything. We moved, and apparently a letter got sent to him, and we wasn't aware it returned back to them, and that's how he missed court.
The point being that you changed addresses, and so the notification from the companies involved went to your old address, not the new address, correct?
Not the new address, correct.
Did it dawn on you that you needed to notify all the agencies involved of your change of address?
I wasn't aware of that because at the time we didn't have a lawyer to keep in contact with anything.
Right, and so that the court's aware, you initially hired an attorney, which was me, and there were some misinterpretations with the contract. Once you guys got back on board and I got back on the case, you requested that I file this motion to set bond with the court today. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Ms. Robinson, do you have some concerns about your son being detained for a lengthy period of time?
Yes. My concern, I'm sorry.
Please.
He haven't been able to go to any of his doctor's appointments. My son is on a special diet to where he needs Ensures daily, which I know he's not getting that. And he really needs to see his doctor. I set up his doctor's appointments and he's missed several doctor's appointments. So he haven't been going to none of his doctor's appointments.
Ms. Robinson, what kind of appointments are these?
Neurology, he's to see the neurologist. He's supposed to be having occupational and physical therapy also. He's not getting that either.
Okay. And you understand that, when somebody misses a court date, I know it wasn't your intent, but you don't really get to get all the things when you miss something that you were supposed to have, correct?
Correct.
But you're telling the court that was an accident. You've updated your address. That's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
And you are going to ensure that he returns to court for his trial date. Is that correct?
Almost definitely. If I hadn't known about his court dates, he would have been there. And I would make sure that I be there if I can be at court with him.
Okay. And you have taken the steps to get me hired and get this going so that we can try to figure out what to do on this case. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you don't believe that your son is going to be a flight risk. Is that correct?
That's correct. No, I will make sure he get there.
Would you have the ability, if the court would require it, to pay for an ankle monitor so that they can monitor his location?
Yes.
And he will continue to reside with you should the court allow him to go home. Is that correct?
Most definitely, yes.
Okay. Miss Angie, is there anything else that you would like to tell the court today?
I just want to get my son home and get him taken care of. He has a lot of problems going on with him, and he really needs his care. And I know that he's not getting that care there. And I am responsible for making sure that he get that care. And I want to make sure my son get that care.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. I pass the witness, Your Honor.
Okay.
Mr.
You're
Marable,
welcome.
do you have questions for this witness?
No questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Robinson. You may be excused. Ms. Hathaway, do you have any other questions?
No, Your Honor, my intent was only to call Ms. Robinson today, just as to the nature of the missing the court and to his medical situation, and request that a bond be reinstated in this case.
Mr. Marable, do you have any witnesses to present?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
All right, Ms. Hathaway, I have a couple of questions. Does Mr. Robinson drive? Is he able to drive a car?
He doesn't drive a whole lot, Your Honor, because of the limited use of the left side of his body. He was actually shot, and that is what led to the paralysis, and he has not completely recovered from that. So he doesn't typically drive alone. That's one of the reasons he can't work at this point. He's dependent on his mother.
How did he come to be in Sherman County when he was arrested for this offense?
He was the passenger in the car, Your Honor.
And as a passenger, he had come to Sherman County from Kansas City, Missouri?
Correct.
All right, thank you. Ms. Hathaway, do you have any brief closing statement?
Only to say that this is, I understand that anytime a defendant misses a court date, that is something that the court really, really weighs heavily. This is not a normal case where it was a disregarding the court's orders or just intentionally missing. There was actually a change of address and a missed communication. His mother calls me every week, just about. They're in touch with their bonding company from the past. And so I really think that she would ensure that he made his court date. I don't think we have a trial setting on this case yet, Judge, and I am scheduled on continuous sexual assault cases starting. I have one in October, one in November, one in December or January, and then one in February. So I am going to be requesting some time before we can actually get this case tried, if we're not able to work it out. And because of the medical care that he needs, I mean, I just think this is an extraordinary case. This is not the norm, Your Honor.
Mr. Marable, do you have any closing statement?
Just a recommendation. I would recommend that a bond be set. I think standard would be 30,000 since it was originally posted at 15,000. That would be the state's recommendation, Your Honor.
Mr. Marable, is the state recommending an ankle monitor when you consider the fact that the defendant will be in Kansas City, Missouri?
I don't know about, I think traditionally that would be the suggestion. I think as far as monitoring him in Kansas City, it might be a bit rough though, Your Honor. I think the fact that he's retained counsel, I think Diana's pretty reliable on that. I don't think we'd recommend that at this time, Your Honor.
All right. And at this time, Mr. Robinson, the court will order that a bond be set for you in the amount of $30,000. Is there anything further from the state or from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.